welcome to the Living Hope thought for the day. Today's thought is going to be based in the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, Ecclesiastes, some would look at it and feel it's a fairly miserable book. And that could well be reflective of Solomon's state of heart and mind at the time that he wrote it. It does seem that he did start to go off track in his walk with God. And that's when he begins to lose the vitality and the sense of purpose. And some of the statements in Ecclesiastes in terms of just what's the point, meaningless, life just seems to have little point or relevance, those things do come from those who are not sensing the presence of God. It doesn't mean that Christians don't have hard times, but it's just a difference that if you have a hard time and you dig in and find God, you're going to be in a very different place to going through hard times and then beginning to question, even reject God. Well, it's not for us to condemn. We don't know how we would respond if we were in the place that, say, Solomon was. But there are a number of things that we can see, and what I want to pick up in this thought for the day is Ecclesiastes and chapter 3. And we read these words: "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." I'll read it again. "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." What we're perceiving in this particular chapter, and it's perhaps reflective of other parts, but simply that God is sovereign, God is in charge, and that in fact there are times of great joy and there are times of great sadness. There are times when, to use one of the expressions, there are times for planting and there's times for reaping. There's time for searching. There's a time to be silent, a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. These are part and parcel of life, that there's a time when to be a child is good, and there's a time that you need to be an adult, and there's time to be a teenager. There's time to enjoy the early years of marriage, and there's time to build a family. There's time for stability, and there is a time to die. And these things are there in order that we seek the face of God. As I said, it's very easy when we're going through a tough time to reject him and to ignore him. But what in fact the Bible, I believe, is showing us is that during the times, the seasons of life, they will happen. This side of heaven, there will be the ups and the downs. There will be the times of great elation, and there will be times almost of despair. But whatever time we're going through, we need to realize that it's transitory. It's not permanent. And it's also Ecclesiastes which makes that wonderful reference. God has set eternity in the hearts of men. The times of trial and trouble upon this earth are times which really remind us of our mortality. They remind us that we are not physically going to be here forever, but that God has put a spirit within us and we can live with Jesus forever. But we won't be living with this body forever. And most, as we grow older, are rather grateful about that. There is a time for this and that. There is a time when Jesus will call us home to himself. But while we wait for that time, let's find the stability of resting in God, and then he will strengthen us to face whatever is ahead of us. God bless you.